Chelsea handed Enzo Maresca something almost finished, a team on the edge of being genuinely good, and Liam Rosenior walked in and scattered the whole deck. But here's what nobody's saying. The player who replaces him might already be at the club, because when Rosenior stopped sending instructions in the second half, Chelsea actually looked better without him. Welcome everyone. Once again, we've got to talk about Chelsea. You all know how it is. This season, there are two managers who drove me to give them nicknames. One is Ruben Amorim, and the other is Liam Rosenior. And you'd know from that alone just what kind of place Liam Rosenior occupies in my heart. Ruben Amorim genuinely tortured us for a long time, but Rosenior was only a 3-month hire, so the damage he caused doesn't quite match Amorim in scale, but the destructive potential, easy to imagine. Because here's the thing. What Enzo Maresca handed down was nearly a finished product. Maresca left you something almost complete. You just had to tie the loose ends. And what did Rosenior do? He took that and turned it into an absolute disaster. It's like when Arne Slot took over from Jurgen Klopp. Slot didn't need to change much at all because Klopp had the patience to build something properly over years. Slot walked into a gift. Rosenior, you were handed a deck that had already been sorted into a playable shape. You had Romeo Lavia in midfield. You had structure, you had momentum, and you went and scattered the whole deck. You deserve exactly what you got. Now let me talk about the 4-3-1-2, because this is the core of it. This is the tactical shape Rosenior was running as his supposed solution, and it sounds clever until you actually think about it. The idea is to overload the central zone, a number 10 in the pocket behind two strikers, Lavia anchoring the base, the two ahead of him with license to push forward. On paper, you can see the argument, but the problem Rosenior never solved is width. When you play a 4-3-1-2, you have no natural width. Your fullbacks have to provide everything going forward. At Chelsea, with the fullbacks they have, that is an enormous ask. You are stretching players beyond their natural remit. So instead of overloading the centre effectively, what you actually produce is a narrow, congested shape that's easy to defend against, with two overworked fullbacks who have no cover when they go forward. The 4-3-1-2 works when you have absolute world-class quality in the central positions. You need a 10 who can operate in tight spaces under constant pressure. You need strikers who can hold up play and link intelligently. You need all three midfielders rotating and supporting each other dynamically. Without all of those pieces functioning at their peak, you end up with a shape that is neither compact in defense nor creative in attack. You deserve exactly what you got from that experiment. And then, going through the center over the halfway line at high tempo, that's something even proper mid-table sides wouldn't dare to do. 19 other opponents in this league, and his whole approach was built around exploiting just one of them. And there are reports the players themselves found his tactics extremely difficult to execute. Of course they did, because you shouldn't be playing that way in the first place. Romeo Lavia, a player with genuine footballing intelligence, reportedly bewildered by the demands. Where there's smoke, there's fire. After the 3-0 loss to Brighton, I sat there and immediately thought, they're genuinely better off without a manager. No manager means the players revert to Maresca's system on autopilot, which is still far better than what Rosenior was doing. Under Rosenior, when he stopped sending instructions in the second half, no more notes passed down. The players just figured it out themselves and actually looked decent. Some people just need to not be there for the damage to stop being done. So the moment he was gone, the question became who comes in. Filipe Luis, a former Chelsea left-back, won the Copa Libertadores, but he's only managed in the Brazilian top flight, not proven at this level. Frank Lampard just led a team to promotion, but he's had 2 chances at Chelsea and couldn't make either work convincingly. The moment they brought in stars during his first stint, he couldn't handle it. No idea how to use Kai Havertz, how to use Declan Rice properly. That reveals something innate about his limitations. Cesc Fabregas, not his time yet. And the fact that he's taking the smart path, proving himself first in Serie A, is actually a sign of wisdom. Don't rush it. Don't force growth before it's time. So the most credible option right now, and he's considered the frontrunner, is Andoni Iraola, currently at Bournemouth, and he said publicly he'll be leaving in the summer. If he becomes a free agent, Chelsea can approach him cleanly. and most of the other top clubs will have their managerial situations sorted, so there's not a lot of competition chasing Iraola. The window for Chelsea to get him is wide open. Some have raised concerns. Iraola is a pressing, fast-tempo manager. That's Bournemouth's identity. True, but his structure is a 4-2-3-1, and the level of tactical intelligence in his system is several tiers above someone like Thomas Frank. Brentford is genuinely just quick and direct. Iraola plays with more nuance. And being a Spanish coach, there's always tactical DNA that goes beyond sheer pace. Is he someone who can take Chelsea to titles? That requires more observation. How he works with big-name players, how quickly he develops, the finer details of his organizational structure. But in terms of being a legitimate, credible appointment, yes, much more normal, much more reasonable. Absolutely better than Liam Rosenior. Though at this point, so is an empty touchline. If Chelsea can secure Iraola early, lock in the appointment the moment the season ends, they can plan the summer transfer window around him properly. If you wait until after the World Cup for some name to float out and then go chasing them, by the time you sort everything it'll be August. August is too late to have any meaningful impact on transfers. Move quickly. Don't waste what Maresca built. And this is the lesson that keeps needing to be said. You cannot hand someone a nearly finished product and expect them to break it apart and rebuild it into something better in 3 months. That's not a rebuild. That's just destruction with extra steps. You see what I mean? If you found this breakdown useful and you enjoy this kind of in-depth analysis, a like and a subscribe goes a long way in keeping this channel going and motivating me to keep producing more. Drop a comment below too. I read every single one. See you in the next one.